In the dating world of today, men don't always take into account the psychological causes that can make a woman really miss them. Avoid investing too much. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding how attraction works on a deeper psychological level. Women don't miss men who are always available. They miss those who make them feel good and bad, who are confident enough to let her wonder about them, and who keep her interested by keeping things mysterious and emotional. To do this, you don't have to act out of character or manipulate anyone. Instead, you need to master certain behaviors and ways of thinking that subtly separate com from value. Being independent and having self-respect make you difficult to forget. If you know how to present yourself as a guy of high value, you can change the balance of power in your favor. When a woman is with you, she starts to feel positive emotions and a sense of loss when you're not there. This isn't about trying harder, it's about doing less, but in a way that has a huge psychological effect. In this video, I'll show you 7 psychological tricks that will make any woman miss you badly. These aren't just tricks, they're based on human behavior and emotional attraction. Pay close attention, because once you master these, you won't have to chase or beg for attention again. She'll be the one chasing you. Let's dive in on the power of absence and how making space for her to miss you is one of the best psychological tricks you can use to make a woman miss you. When you're always available, whether it's answering her texts right away, constantly asking her to hang out, or giving her too much attention, you subconsciously lower your value. When something is absent, its value increases and the heart becomes more affectionate. This doesn't mean ignoring her. It means carefully making room for her to notice your absence and wonder about you. People naturally want things they can't fully have. If you're always there, there's no room for mystery, anticipation, or excitement to grow. On the other hand, if you're sometimes unavailable, she has to think about how much she enjoys your presence and the emotional void you fill when you're there. To make this work, start by balancing your availability. Whenever she texts you, don't feel like you have to answer right away. Take your time, not because you're mean, but to subtly show that your life isn't all about her and that you have goals and objectives outside of the relationship. This shows that you value independence and high value, which women find very attractive. Being the first to end an interaction, like a phone call, date, or conversation, is another way to make space. When you end an interaction on a positive note, it piques her curiosity and reminds her of the enjoyable moments you've shared. Remember, it's not about being hard to get. It's about being hard to forget by creating scarcity. You're letting her miss you, which is an important part of being deeply emotionally attracted to someone. 2 things that make you feel, bringing up emotional memories. Memories are the key to living in her mind. One of the best ways to get a woman to miss you is to leave an emotional mark on her memory. Women are very emotional, and they remember how you made them feel. If you can craft unique emotional moments, she will find herself reliving them in her mind, even when you're not present. For example, instead of a normal dinner date, try something adventurous and different. Take her to an amusement park, a rooftop with a beautiful view, or introduce her to something new, like a hidden restaurant or a hobby you're passionate about. These kinds of moments stand out from the usual routine interactions and become mental bookmarks for her. When she thinks back on those experiences, she'll automatically connect those feelings of excitement, fun, or joy with you. Surprise is another important part of emotional memory. Surprising her with a thoughtful act or an impromptu plan can give her an emotional spike that stays with her. For example, instead of saying, "Let's get coffee," you could say, "Meet me here. I have something cool planned for us." This kind of intrigue not only keeps her interested, it also makes her think of you when she wants to be spontaneous and excited. Emotional openness is just as important. This doesn't require you to reveal all your secrets, but it does require you to allow her to catch glimmers of your genuine self. For example, you could tell her a story that shaped who you are or talk about your goals and values. These deeper connections make you stand out from other guys who might only want to talk about the surface. Balance is important here. Be open enough to connect with her, but mysterious enough to keep her interested. But it's not just about what happens when you're with her. It's also about what happens when you're not. Emotional hooks are the little things that remind her of you that she comes across every day. For example, you could introduce her to a song, a coffee flavor, or even a phrase that becomes your thing. Every time she hears or sees these things, they'll make her think of you, making it impossible for her to forget about you. But here's the real magic. After making those strong emotional memories, you should take a step back and give her time to think about them. If you text her or try to get in touch with her all the time, it lessens the effect of those emotional highs. Pulling away makes her miss those times even more, which is where self-discipline comes in. Finally, when you do reach out, make subtle references to those memories. For example, a text that says, "I heard that song we played the other night, and I still can't believe how well you knew the lyrics," is much more powerful than a generic message. "How are you today?" is a way to keep you in her mind and tell her of the bond you've built. Bringing up emotional memories isn't about controlling her. It's about giving her important experiences and showing her how much you mean to her. If you do it right, she'll not only miss you, but also want to relive those times with you three. How to get good at mystery. How to get good at mystery. Mastering the art of surprise is one of the best ways to make a woman miss you a lot. Being predictable kills attraction, while mystery sparks interest and curiosity. If you're completely transparent, she will know what to anticipate from you, leaving minimal space for her imagination to explore. But if you keep her guessing, you create an irresistible pull that makes her think about you, even when you're not there to cultivate mystery. First, fight the desire to share too much. There is a time and a place for openness, but many men make the mistake of putting all their cards on the table too soon, thinking that being completely honest will make the connection stronger. Timing is everything, so don't tell her too much about yourself at first. For example, instead of telling her your whole life story or daily routine right away, let her earn that access gradually. Share only snippets that hint at a bigger, more complicated story. Say something intriguing like, "Someday I'll tell you the story behind that," and then leave it at that. She'll be eager to know more, which will naturally keep her mind on you. Another way to keep the mystery alive is to be less available. Don't ghost her or play games. Just show that you respect his time and have other things to do. If you're always available for her, she'll start to take your presence for granted. But if you sometimes say no to plans because you're busy with your goals or friends, it will show that you value your relationship. Being independent shows her that you don't need her approval. This will make her want to be a part of your life, and she'll start to wonder where she fits in. One important part of mystery is being able to surprise people with your activities. Most guys tend to become mired in their habits. Texting at the same time every day with the same words or date ideas isn't always bad. If you do the same thing over and over, it gets boring. Instead, switch things up. Don't text every day, plan a surprise trip, or talk in a different tone. These little changes will throw her off guard and keep her interested. Being unpredictable makes her more interested in figuring you out. Another effective strategy is to stay emotionally stable. When she doesn't fully understand what you're thinking or how deeply you feel about her, it creates a sense of uncertainty that fuels her interest. This doesn't mean being cold or distant, but rather keeping an air of calm confidence. If she tries to get you to feel or behave in a certain way, Give her a small smile and say something like, "I guess you'll just have to figure me out." This will keep her interested while subtly making you more mysterious. Lastly, try not to use social media too much. With daily updates on your day, location and thoughts, she won't be able to solve the mystery. Instead, be selective about what you share online and let your real-life interactions carry the weight of your relationship. Mystery isn't about lying or tricking, it's about controlling the flow of information and keeping people interested. If she doesn't know everything about you or what you're thinking, her mind will fill in the gaps, and the more she thinks about you, the more she'll miss you for building. Building anticipation makes her look forward to hearing from you. One of the most underrated psychological tricks for making a woman miss you is to make her excited and eager for your next interaction. When you master the ability to create excitement and eagerness for your next interaction, you solidify your presence in her mind. Women don't miss men who are always there for them. Instead, they crave men who leave them with a sense of what's next. This strategy is based on making every interaction meaningful and purposeful so that she eagerly awaits the next one to begin. Stay away from constant conversation. Many guys think staying in touch will strengthen their relationship, but it generally doesn't. If you text her all day, every day, she can't miss you. Quality over quantity is the key here. When you do talk to her, make sure it's important and leaves her smiling, thinking, or wondering about you. Send her a thoughtful, interesting message, such as, "I just remembered something funny from last weekend, and I can't wait to tell you about it." The timing of small talk is also crucial for building expectation instead of answering every message right away. Do not ignore her for hours to play games. Instead, make natural pauses in your conversations so she knows when you'll respond, which keeps her interested in the conversation. For example, if she texts you after a wonderful date, wait a little while before responding with something. Use charming phrases such as, "I'm still smiling from earlier." "Did you have as much fun as I did?" This delayed response not only builds suspense, but also keeps the emotional high from your interaction alive. Ensure that your conversations or dates conclude on a positive note. People remember the beginning and end of experiences more vividly than the middle, so it's important to leave her with a lasting impression. As the phone's energy wanes, say, "I'd love to keep talking, but I have to run. Let's pick this up soon." This leaves her wanting more and looking forward to your next conversation. Having inside jokes or rituals also builds anticipation. If there's something that only the two of you share, like a funny nickname, a shared playlist, or a special way of saying goodbye, it becomes something she associates with you. Whenever she thinks of that ritual or joke, she'll think of you, which will make her feel good. Loop in her mind. Teasing about future plans without giving away all the details is another powerful way to build anticipation. For example, you could say, "I've got something fun planned for us next week. You'll love it." This simple statement builds excitement and curiosity without giving away too much. Finally, remember that absence makes desire stronger. If you've been talking to her a lot, take a day or two off. This break from talking to you will create a void that will make her realize how much she loves hearing from you. When you reappear, the excitement will be even greater by building anticipation. You'll change the dynamics in your favor. She'll start to value every moment with you and look forward to your next move. If you execute this effectively, it will ensure that she consistently remembers you and misses you when you're not around. Mastering the push-pull dynamic is one of the most effective ways to make a woman miss you. This method involves switching between moments of connection and withdrawal, which creates an emotional roller coaster that keeps her interested in you. Dynamic works because it replicates the natural fluctuations of attraction. When used correctly, it makes her want you more, piques her interest, and keeps her thinking about you. The push comes when you show her real interest, connect with her emotionally, and make her feel wanted. The pull is when you briefly take her attention away, leaving her to wonder what your plans are. It's about finding the right balance. It's important to find a balance between these two stages. Too much push can make you seem needy or predictable, while too much pull could make her lose interest. The key is to keep her guessing while staying true to yourself. For example, when you're with her during the push phase, be fully present and attentive. Compliment her, have deep conversations, and make her feel special. This creates an emotional high that reinforces her attraction to you. When things are going well, enter the pull phase. This doesn't mean ghosting her or playing cruel games. It just means pulling back a bit to let her feel the lack of your attention. For example, you might wait longer to reply to her texts. Take a day off from making plans or getting in touch with people because you're busy with your own tasks. Why does it work? People want answers, and the push-pull dynamic makes her feel emotional tension that she'll want to resolve. When you're fully present, she feels connected and satisfied, but when you pull back, it makes her long for the emotional high she felt during the push phase. This back and forth keeps her emotionally engaged and wanting more. To master this technique, avoid extremes. Don't shower her with compliments and attention only to disappear for days without explanation. Instead, keep your pull pH subtle and intentional. For instance, if you've been texting consistently for a few days, scale back and focus on your own life for a short period. If she asks why you've been quieter, you can respond with something confident yet nonchalant, like, "I've been caught up with a few things, but I was just about to reach out." This shows that you have your own priorities while subtly reassuring her of your interest. Another way to use the push-pull dynamic is during interactions playfully tease her or challenge her opinions in a way that sparks light-hearted banter. For example, if she shares her favorite movie, you might jokingly say, "That's your favorite. I'm not sure if I can trust your taste anymore." This push builds attraction by creating playful tension, while the pull comes from your calm confidence in not needing to agree with her to gain her approval. The push-pull is beautiful. When something is dynamic, it's not about controlling it. It's about keeping the spark alive. Showing her that you're interested but not completely predictable keeps you interesting, and when you do it right, it makes you even more so. The push-pull effect makes sure that she'll miss you when you're not around, eagerly anticipating the next time you connect six, which makes her feel good. Giving people emotional highs and lows. Lasting impressions. If you want a woman to really miss you, you have to make her feel something that will stay with her. The highs and lows of your emotions are strong psychological triggers that make relationships with you. People who are difficult to forget tend to remember events that made them feel strong emotions, both good and bad. If you purposely and kindly make her feel these emotions, you will be in her thoughts for a long time after your interactions. One way to do this is to use both humor and vulnerability at the same time. For example, tell her a funny or light-hearted story that makes her laugh, and then share a deeper, more sensitive moment. This keeps the conversation going. She feels connected to you on many levels because you are uncertain and changeable. Laughter makes her feel good, and being vulnerable makes her feel emotionally invested in you. This leads to a tumultuous journey of emotions, fostering a deep and thrilling connection between her and you. When used correctly, playful teasing can create tension that is both enjoyable and stimulating. For example, if she brings up an interest or habit, you could respond with a light-hearted jab like, "Oh, so you're one of those people who drinks pumpkin spice lattes in July." Then you could follow it up with a genuine compliment like, "But honestly, I admire how you own your quirks." While the teasing keeps her on edge, the compliment reassures her of your interest. This mix of push and pull makes her feel emotionally engaged. Surprises are also a wonderful way to make someone feel emotionally high. Plan a surprise trip for her, send her a small but meaningful gift, or compliment her on something unique about herself. Saying something like, "I noticed how your face lights up when you talk about your passions," could be an example. It's uplifting. These moments astonish her in a positive manner and remain etched in her memory. Conversely, minor emotional setbacks can intensify the positive emotions. This doesn't mean being mean or controlling. It means creating a sense of absence or mystery for a short time. For example, if you've been spending a lot of time together, take a break for a day or two to focus on yourself. This will make her notice your absence, and when you come back, it will make her feel even better. Sharing stories or experiences that make you feel strongly can give you a renewed sense of excitement when you reunite, making you value your presence even more. Stories that make people feel something, like a sad story, an exciting journey, or, when you make these times together, she'll connect you with the intensity of even the worst situations. Invite her to try something new and exciting, like rock climbing or a spontaneous road trip, or tell her a personal story that shows a deeper side of who you are. These experiences will stick in her mind and make her want more times like them with you. Finally, be emotionally consistent in how you talk to her, even though you want to create highs and lows. You want her to feel safe knowing that you're not unstable or moody. Emotional highs and lows are about the richness of experience, not instability. Always strike a balance between how unpredictable your actions are and how stable your character is. By creating these emotional highs and lows, you create a vivid, memorable connection that keeps her emotionally hooked. She will find herself replaying those moments in her mind, missing the unique way you make her feel. Focus on your own life, the magnetic pull of self-sufficiency. One way to make a woman miss you is to put yourself first and overlook her. Purposeful, ambitious, and independent men naturally attract women. When you strive to become the best version of yourself, you exude a confidence and independence that inspires her desire to be with you. Her realization that being with you is a privilege makes her miss you when you're gone. To use this strategy effectively, start by dedicating time to your hobbies and personal growth, such as working on your career, going to the gym, traveling, or mastering a skill. These pursuits demonstrate to her that you are a man with a mission. A man who is actively improving his life shows that he has choices and standards, which makes him much more attractive. Being involved in your own life makes you less available, and she'll start to miss you and wonder what you're doing, and more importantly, why she's not involved. The people in your social circle are also crucial for giving you this sense of independence. Being around positive, driven people who inspire and push you will improve your life and show her you're not dependent on her for mental support or company. Women like guys with lots of connections because it shows that they are well liked in society. If she knows your life has interesting people and activities, she'll want to join. Being clear about your limits and goals is another important part. Men who value themselves do not alter their plans to accommodate others. For example, if she asks to meet up but you already have plans to work on a personal project or hang out with friends, politely say no and say something like, "I'd love to see you, but I already have plans tonight. Let's work something out soon." This answer shows that you're interested, but your life isn't focused on her, which makes you more interesting. To show her how happy you are with your life without being too pushy, you can use social media to post boring updates or try to prove how great your life is. Share real moments that show off your interests and accomplishments. Whether it's a picture of a new project you're working on, a hiker's view, or a group photo with friends, These posts give her a look into your busy life without directly trying to get her attention. Concentrating on your personal life also signifies a strong sense of drive. Having a clear picture of where you want to go is not only attractive, it's inspiring. Share your goals and dreams when it's appropriate, but let your actions speak louder than words. When she sees that you're actively working towards something meaningful, she'll respect and admire you more. Finally, practice emotional independence. It's important to connect with her emotionally, but don't become too dependent on her for approval or happiness. Be sure of who you are and let her know that while you enjoy being with her, your happiness doesn't depend on her. This balanced approach shows her that you're a man who can stand on his own, making her appreciate and miss your presence even more. When you focus on your own life, you create an aura of self-respect and ambition that's impossible to ignore. She'll begin to associate you with excitement, growth, and stability, and the thought of not being part of your journey will make her miss you deeply. By implementing these conclusion psychological tricks, you'll position yourself as a man who is captivating, confident, and ultimately unforgettable. Women are drawn to men who keep them guessing, create emotional highs, and, most importantly, have fulfilling lives of their own. By mastering mystery, anticipation, and emotional dynamics, and prioritizing your personal growth, you will cultivate an irresistible pull that makes her miss you even when you're not around. Remember, the key is not manipulation, but fostering genuine attraction through independence, emotional depth, and purposeful interactions. When you apply these principles, she won't be able to stop thinking about you.